In addition to West Virginia, Nebraska voters are also heading to the polls to vote in primary elections today. The highly watched Republican gubernatorial primary features Charles Herbster. This is the Trump-backed candidate who has been accused of sexually assaulting multiple women, which he denies. The former president has not withdrawn his support despite the accusations. Remember back in 2017, Mr. Trump stood behind Alabama Republican Judge Roy Moore and his bid for the Senate, even though he faced similar allegations. Moore ultimately lost. CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joins me now. Hey there, Bob. Thanks for being here. When Trump was campaigning for Herbster in Nebraska recently, he not only stood by him in these attacks, but essentially against the accusations of sexual assault, but essentially said that Herbster was being maligned. So how have these multiple sexual assault misconduct allegations changed the race in the final days for Herbster, if at all?
Good to be with you, Caitlin. The former president and Mr. Herbster have expressed grievance over the allegations of sexual assault and misconduct, and this has provided a sense of unity between the candidate and the former president. This is a solid front politically, despite the allegations, and you see Mr. Herbster, in the final days of the campaign, casting himself as the victim in this situation, even though he is the one being accused. He has run a television ad, for example, bringing up the names of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Clarence Thomas, two justices on the Supreme Court who, during their confirmation hearings, were famously accused of sexual misconduct in different respects. This is now a key part of the closing message Herbster has in the race, that he stands with Trump. He's part of this group of Republicans, including Trump, who have faced these sorts of allegations, and there's no wavering. He has called it all lies again and again on the campaign trail.
Yeah, you make an important point there that he's not the only one running for office this cycle that is facing similar allegations. But Herbster also has two challengers in this race. Are there any issues separating the candidates, or is this, really looked at through the Trump lens?
Well, this is a test of the Trump political brand. We saw it recently in the Senate Republican primary in Ohio. We see it, of course, in West Virginia. And now we see it in Nebraska. We'll see it next week in Pennsylvania, and then later this month in Georgia. It's the question again and again this primary campaign season is just how far does the Trump endorsement go? Can it carry candidates, even those who perhaps may be dented by allegations of misconduct or other allegations? Can it carry them across the finish line?
And Bob, really quickly, I just want to ask about State Senator Brett Lindstrom in this race, because he's marshaled support from Democrats and independents, which is really no small feat in today's climate. Do you know how he went about doing that, and could that serve as a roadmap for others who may be looking to gain support in this kind of environment?
It's possible. He is trying to build a coalition, knowing that the Trump endorsement hovers like a heavy shadow over this race, so maybe try to reach out to Democratic voters. You have the business community going with the Ricketts pick. Many in the Nebraska state political establishment are going with the state senator. But Herbster is someone who goes back a long way with Trump, before the 2016 campaign even. They were friends. He's an agricultural businessman. He stood by Trump even after the January 6th episode, the Capitol attack, in Trump's role in that day. And so you see Trump standing loyal by Herbster. And in these kind of primaries, to your point about reaching out to thousands of Democratic voters, turnout, it's a cliche, but it's so true. If this is a low turnout election, something like that, an outreach to a few thousand voters, building a different kind of coalition, it could really help. But it may not be enough. This is a ruby red state where Trump still matters.
A lot of interesting primaries this month, Bob. I'm so glad you're covering it for us. We appreciate your time and your reporting today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.